So I want to comment about Hurricane Ian, and specifically, I want to talk about those people when they issued mandatory evacuation orders, didn't evacuate. It's a big hot topic controversy about why they didn't evacuate, etc., put themselves in harm's way, etc. Now, I need to qualify it by I'm sitting up here in a nice park, untouched by any hurricane in the Minneapolis area of Minnesota. I mean, we have a rotten weather, blizzards 20, 30 below, snowstorms, etc. But those aren't the same as a big hurricane that wipes out a huge chunk of the city and areas and population. They cause blizzards cause lots of troubles. You see people going out when they shouldn't, driving when they shouldn't, getting stranded, leaving their cars. They die of frostbite. Hurricanes different. Most hurricanes, the death and destruction isn't from the winds, which in and of themselves will wipe you out. It's the storm surge, etc. But I'm curious, it's more of maybe almost a plea about when they're forecasting hurricanes and they say mandatory evacuation, or even you can see it on your own TV, it's coming somewhere near you. The prudent thing is to get out. Now, I'm going to qualify it by saying there are those that might struggle to get out. Their medical condition, a disability, they can't afford to get out. Maybe they don't have a car that's working. And I would hope that the governments would look ahead to these future hurricanes. It's not if that area is going to get hit by another hurricane, it's when. Perhaps an evacuation plan, the government could kick in ahead of time and kick in a whole bunch of school buses and shelters. Now, etc. So everybody has a chance to get out. But so I'm only specifically talking about those that have the means to get out and they chose not to ride it out. It's hard for me up here to understand the mentality, but I respect the choices they have to make. It's uprooting a family. It's leaving your home type of thing. It's going somewhere when you don't want to kind of a thing. It's like, and I think a big part of the mentality, because I read about one lady said, well, I wanted to save my cat. I wanted to ride out the storm. Another guy says, well, I thought the storm was going to go more north, so I didn't evacuate. Another person, but this is what I read a lot, and I think this has a root cause and why people don't evacuate. Because like I said, from my being, 1,300, 1,400 miles away, it boggles my mind, why wouldn't you leave when such danger is nearby? So let's go back to a few years ago, Hurricane Irma, right? Irma was going to be a Cat 5 storm of the century. It took the same path as Ian, basically, type of thing, but it totally weakened down to like a Category 2, Category 1 before it hit the west coast of Florida, went across, type of thing. So people drop their guard, is what I think is happening here. And I read this over and over in the articles and online. Well, last time they did this, I did everything I was supposed to. I boarded up the house, I took off, I came back, nothing happened. Didn't even break a window. So, in other words, the weatherman has cried wolf one too many times, kind of a thing, so I didn't take him seriously. And it's just unfortunate because the weatherman can be wrong 9 times, but they're right just that 10th time. Then we have an Ian on our hands, and people are perishing or being wiped out when they don't have to. So my plea is there a way to reach people so that they believe the warnings, even if it ends up not being as bad? I know up here, again, not the same thing. They might say, oh, we're going to get, 30 below weather, and we're going to get, 15 inches of snow, and it ends up being, 10 above, and we get 3 inches type of things. And weatherman's wrong all the time. But you have to look and not rely on always the weatherman or rely on government officials who are doing the best they can. For me, in that situation, I'm going to look at that and say, I don't need the government to tell me to get out. I see this on TV, the forecast. I'm out as a matter of caution type of thing. I want to be the first one out. But I respect the difficulty of all the stuff and the emotions about evacuating. So it's more of a plea for me, my opinion, and a plea in these future hurricanes. Please pay attention and take it seriously, because Ian was much worse than a lot of people thought. Katrina back in whatever that was, 2005, much worse than people thought. And people were just destroyed because they didn't take it seriously. I've lived here 40 years. I've been through 6 hurricanes. It's never that bad. They always say it's bad, and then bam, it's that bad or worse. So please, even though it's a pain in the butt, if you will, to have to up your family and go somewhere, drive 500 miles, get out of harm's way, etc., please do. It just, again, my opinion, sitting from the comfort of Minneapolis, looking at this, and I'm not involved in that situation, so it's easy for me to cherry pick, but that's just my opinion. So thanks for listening.